Yo, what's going on, people? My name is Mim Shaikh, and right now you're tuned into the Urban Download with DJ Jedah. Check it out.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Urban Download. I am joined with one of my favorite people at the moment. That's Mim Shaikh. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yes, my brother. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time. I know that you're a very, 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 very busy guy, and I know we're going to be talking through how busy you are during the course of this discussion. Um, I just want to start off, just put it out there. Like, how are you? A professional side, professional stuff aside, like,
Mm.
how are you
Yeah, no,
as a
it's a really
person?
good question to start off with, man. I think it's sometimes people just skip it and don't really explain how they feel, but I'm
Mm,
good. I'm really good. I feel like where I'm at right now, I'm in like a really, really, really good place from a productivity point of view, like my mind's perspective point of view, relationships, friendships, like everything just right now, it just seems like, yeah, everything's on track right now. There's nothing in my life right now that I'm kind of debating about or second guessing or even thinking like, oh, what am I doing here or there? Everything in this moment in time, touch wood, and like all praise to God, has been like really good. I'm really like content and happy.
I mean, it's amazing to hear that because not a lot of people can relate. A lot of people, especially during these difficult times, are still trying to find their feet and trying to find happiness effectively and trying to find a bit, kind of a way of just saying that, I'm in a good place. But
Mm.
it's evident with you, as you said, that, you've been able to find your kind of feet and happiness given the current constraints. But what have you been doing from a personal perspective to enable you to maintain that kind of mindset?
Yeah, man. I remember it's different because we've been in this lockdown for like a year now.
Mm,
It was this time last year when, things first got announced, and it's been a big like shift and a huge change for, I think, people's mental health and getting up and doing the things that we used to do in regards to now. In answer to your question, I would say some of the things that I've done to keep me going and keep me like active and stuff. I started cycling,
I
which
see that.
was one of the best things that I think I've been able to do. Obviously, I was a gym goer before. I used to go to the gym like 3-4 times a week. I used to
Oh
love that.
wow.
But yeah, but cycling really, like, I think the cardiovascular exercise, just doing it every day for like 30-40 minutes, meant from mentally, it's just been keeping me in check. Like, I just done a 40-minute ride today. I
Wow.
came back, had a shower, got ready for this, and I'm just like, it's really helpful, bro. Like, exercise is so important, man. That's been keeping me like going. I've been doing a lot of writing. I started writing. I wrote a feature film that was very cathartic. That helped me a lot. I've been keeping a diary. That's been
Oh
amazing.
mate, I just bought one yesterday. It had to be done, mate.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, that's been helping. Yeah, man, and just like staying connected with people who are still in your life, like friends, family, spending more time with my mum. Kind of took that for granted before. Would be
Hmm.
running around like a headless chicken doing X, Y, and Z. Like,
Exactly.
made food for her yesterday, like chilled with her, seeing family a bit more, like trying to over FaceTime or whatever. So yeah, those are kind of some of the things that I've been kind of doing to help me, you know what I'm saying?
You mentioned writing, and obviously that's not alien to you. That's something that you have been doing for a considerable amount of time. But
Yeah.
again, given the current concepts that we're dealing with, writing, how do you get into the correct mindset? Do you have I mean, paint a picture of how you get into the do you actually give a place where you sit down, you have to listen to some tunes first to kind of get you in the right kind of kind of mindset. Like, paint a picture for us.
Yeah, it's kind of, it depends on what type of thing that you're sitting down to like kind of attack and tackle. Like, if it's depends what type of writing you're doing. I'm quite multi-talented in different disciplines. So for me, it's more about finding out what medium I'm trying to write for and trying
Hmm.
to figure out what is it that I'm trying to say and kind of tailoring everything towards that. I think writing a feature film screenplay, which hasn't been like, it's not being made at the moment, but is in the process of like getting picked up. That for me was like, wow, okay, cool. At least I attacked it and got my first and second and third draft like finally done. And that's probably one of the hardest things that I feel like I've done so far. But if it's like a spoken word track or something that is a bit different, that would like you'd use a different muscle to kind of go towards there. But what I've realized is once you do it for so long, it ends up becoming it's like muscle memory. It ends up becoming this creative flair that you have that you can just kind of tap into
Mm.
whenever you want and whenever you need.
I love a saying that you said, which is individual to you, is to flex that muscle, flex that head
Yeah,
muscle, to kind of
yeah,
switch in between your mindset of what you're focusing on. And I think that's
yeah,
really, really important, again, given the current situation that we're dealing with. You also mentioned your mother, and how you've been able to kind of be in touch with your mother more, be around her more. um I'm assuming that the lockdown has been a blessing in disguise in that respect.
yeah.
Um, I mean, how has your mother taken it, seeing that you're now more prevalent than ever as opposed to prior lockdown?
Yeah, well, I mean, she don't really express as much as, one would wish, but
Of course.
she's still cool with like I think seeing me around and being around as much as I can, like with her, spending more time like even in the house than I did before. Um yeah, man, I guess I think it's been quite nice, but kind of like on an unsaid kind of vibe, like it's more of
Mm.
a yeah, I can feel this and I appreciate it from my perspective anyway, like it's always that.
I mean, I know you said from your perspective, but now, obviously, and your mother suffers from mental health, and obviously that's something that's very, very important to you.
Mm.
Um, Now, again, being with your mother as much as it was beforehand. I mean, I know it's difficult to kind of sustain a relationship with with your personal life, with with your career and so on and so forth, and you being at home. Have you been able to kind of reflect and think, you know what, after lockdown, I'll still try and maintain my kind of what I'm doing at the moment, or do you feel that have you looked at that and thought, well, after lockdown, I may need to try and take a step back and calm my kind of lifestyle down, or would you find that that'll be kind of difficult to try and
Yeah, nah, man,
maintain?
I don't think it'll be difficult at all. I think a lot of people have gone through this new like experience as a collective, like as just like people, and there's been things in there that have been beneficial that I think you can stick onto, you can hold on to, and try and implement in your everyday once we get out of it. But I don't think it's something that's just going to happen naturally. I think
Mm,
it's going to be something that people might have to work on and might have to kind of realize, is it something that they like, is it something that they do want to incorporate, and is it something that's going to be beneficial for them and their close ones like around them as much as they can. Do you know what I'm saying? It's more of a thing where if you found that there are certain things that you have learned about yourself within this period that we've been in, like hold on to them as much as you can and try and like use it to your benefit and try and implement new routines or new ways of either dealing with people or realizing things about yourself, man. I think collectively we've all realized a lot of stuff about ourselves as human beings within this time, because primarily we've had so much time to ourselves
to
to be
reflect.
able to, yeah, to reflect,
Mm.
to think, to plan, to do whatever it is that you do with your own time, and I think that can, yeah, that can be really beneficial if you want to create like long lasting new routines or long lasting methods of like just operating as a human being after this. So yeah, definitely, man. I think things will definitely be implemented for sure.
You've said that your pilgrimage is life, and you grow and learn every day. And again, as you said, you've started to write, and more frequently. Has there been anything else that you've been able to do to enable you to grow and learn every day, as opposed to just the writing? Is there anything else that you've been able to think, oh, well, do you know what? Like, I've identified that I can, this is something new to me. I wanna capitalize on that.
Yeah, I like a lot of people, I feel like I'm quite a grateful person when anything happens to me in life. Generally, I've always been that way inclined. But last year, I was talking about keeping a diary, but I
Mm.
started keeping this like lockdown gratitude like list. So anything, something good would happen within the day, because there's so many good things that end up just happening to me sometimes. Yeah, not on a like a ego boosting thing, but it just happens. Like I'll end up writing that exact moment down in this like lockdown gratitude list. And bro, like it's in my phone at the moment. Yeah, I haven't written in it for a while, but if I pull it up, bro, it's like even when I go through it and I see it, it just like it's like it's just bare long.
Wow. So what
Like
are the kind of kind of topics that you kind of like,
just like one I'm reading off now, like spoke to one of my best friends on the phone for over an hour and reminisced over old times, cracking
that's
jokes
incredible. That's
like
incredible.
that. Like I wrote that and I'm like, raw, yeah. And now I'm having a memory and I'm like, raw, yeah, I remember that.
So
I
what
remember
would you do with that though? So obviously you've sustained that memory of even, but this is that's I think that's really, really crucial because we take that for granted.
yeah,
We
we do.
take things that we have in our everyday lives, aside from family, just normal conversations, which can be quite beneficial to yourself and somebody else, and then it'll be forgotten after a day. But for you, you've recorded that, and that clearly resonates with you. What
Yeah.
would is this something that you look back at and think, wow, I remember that.
Yeah.
That
It's just it triggers a memory. Because we can get so when you're I'm so busy all the time, yeah.
I
And,
don't
and
know
I'm
it.
and I move on to like things very quickly. And for me, I need to be able to remember certain things just so I can look back on them and just be like, oh yeah, that happened. Otherwise, I'm just gonna forget, man. So for me to just even scroll this up now and be like, oh, I linked one of my other friends. We went to Starbucks to get a coffee.
That's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, and he bought me back something from his trip from Miami. Like I've written that down here, and I'm like,
That's incredible.
wicked. I remember, bro. As soon as I write it, I remember the whole thing.
What is amazing as well is that if you remember that, you can go back to that person and say, "Oh, do you remember when we did such and
Yeah,
such?" And they're going to be like, "Damn, that you remember! Oh my god!" And you
yeah,
can build on that and build other like kind of memories as well, which
yeah.
you can record as well. Which is
I'd recommend it to everyone, bro. I know it's a bit like
no,
it's a bit. It's a people will look at it and be like, "Oh, that's mad, like sentimental. Or
mm,
it's mad, that's bare hippie, or like whatever." But I'm a free spirit, bro. Like I do things that make me feel good every day, and that makes me feel good. Even pulling that up and reading that back, I'm like, "Oh wow, yeah, I remember that was sick."
I mean, again, from a mental health perspective, when you're trying to help one another, not just yourself, little things like that
Mm.
can change a person's path on a day, to a more positive route. I mean, if someone could be in a really, really dark place and you reach out to that person because you've read something that you can recollect from what you in a previous memory of that person, can really give that boost to somebody else. And collectively, if we all did that, we'd all be in a really, in a more positive kind of mindset. And not only that, like I said, with the stuff that we're going through at the moment, is what we need. We
Mm.
need to be close to one another, and we really need to help one another out, and be that free spirit, and push that positivity out there. And
Yeah,
that
because
that
every time we put on the news, every time we put on shows like on
oh,
the TV, the stuff that's being reflected back to us is, oh, the virus has done this to me, or that has
mm,
happened to me, or I've lost this person. And I'm there. I understand it. I get it. You know, it's a big thing. I'm not trying to downplay it or whatever, but I just think as human beings, we have the need and the necessity in us to make sure that we're in the best way possible, like for
absolutely,
ourselves and for kind of people around us, you know? So I think
absolutely.
that definitely helps.
Big thing, which is unfortunate for you, but your birthday is coming up. Your
Yeah.
30th.
How'd you know that?
Come on, man. Come on, bro. You're 30th. Now, it's the big 3-0 for you, bro. And obviously, we are going to be in lockdown again on the 7th of April, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Not trying to bait you out or anything, but but obviously last year you had your birthday in lockdown.
yeah.
Obviously now again, unfortunately, this is going to be the case. A big 3-0. I don't know whether you acknowledge birthdays as being a big thing for you, but how's that for you? How's that for
Yeah,
you?
man, it's a bit of a bittersweet thing because it's like, yeah, you're turning 30, it's a new number. It's amazing. But at the same time, it's like it's in lockdown, bruv. Like I had like I wanted to throw like a massive party and
Yeah.
invite everyone that I know that I've worked with, whatever, just pass through, come for an hour if you want, stay for the whole thing. And I had it all I was like, oh, it was be sick. Holler at friends who are DJs to come down, spin
Mm.
record. Bro, I got to do the rule of six thing in my
Yeah,
garden.
you got the
I got to choose six people. Just come through. I'm gonna light up a barbecue. We'll have
yeah.
something to drink. We'll have a good time. But I think you know what it is, yeah. As much as I'm trying to not feel disappointed about it because I know I can still always do the party once we get out. And I
100%.
know deep down, I know me and that small little gathering with that little barbecue or whatever we do will probably be way better than the massive, big like a glorified like party
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
So we'll be able to do both. So I'm
A bit
looking forward to it, man.
more intimate, more meaningful, and again, something that you'll probably remember as well. But
Yeah, yeah,
um, something that I find really, really important to me and you, and I've seen numerous literature and videos about you being a young British Asian
Mm,
rising up in the media kind of spectrum. I for one, I have a lot of passion being Asian, British Asian, and trying to do things which are not within our custom to being an Asian, if that kind of makes
mm.
sense. I mean, I'm not going to talk about how you've risen up, because we all know your history, your media background, being at Leeds University, your radio broadcasting kind of early stages of your career. But I feel that what I want to understand from you is, how has it been for you being a British Asian? Granted, we all put the smiley face and say, "Do you know what, I've had a pleasant journey," but sometimes that's not always the case.
Yeah,
How has
man.
it been for you rising up in the ranks, especially being the first Asian DJ on Radio 1 Extra? Stuff
Pat,
like
Pat, tell him again. Tell him
uh,
again. Tell him
first
again.
Asian DJ on Radio 1 Extra. That
Yeah,
is a
daytime,
proud moment.
daytime,
Daytime,
daytime. Yeah.
daytime, still, man. Daytime is still prime time. But why? I mean, yeah. I mean, how was that for you?
Yeah, man. When you say it like that, it's like it seems like it's a rarity, and it's a big,
Mm,
like, I don't want to say the word responsibility, but that's the first word that comes out, because we don't see enough people doing, stuff like that in the media so openly and so, I think, successfully. But what I'm learning now is the pressure. It's not really, I don't feel pressure at all, because there are so many more young people who are now just doing whatever they feel like they want to do and going for it fully via social media, via YouTube, via TikTok, via whatever, and just openly, transparently being themselves. And I think about 5, 6 years ago, when I was kind of doing what I was doing and coming up, there weren't that many people around, and you kind of knew everyone who was kind of doing it. And bro, I look back at, I have to go, bro, on my Instagram, yeah. When you go on your story, yeah, and you hit
mm,
create,
mm,
and it gives you that flashback thing to like a year ago, 2 years ago. Bro, I have to go on that every day to remember, like, what was I doing this time last
right.
year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago? And one came up like 8 years ago. And I was like, bro, 8 years ago, it goes back that far.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was like pictures of like me and ASAP, like when he comes to like the new broadcasting house.
Yeah.
When I was working as an assistant producer at the time. I didn't have no radio shows back then. I had no form of success back then. I was just trying to learn everything. And I'm just like, wow, bro. Like, and I'm looking at the young Don in the picture. Obviously it's
Mm,
me, but I'm like,
yeah.
you had no idea what's going to happen in the next like 7 to 8 years, and all the things that you're able to experience, and how much you're going to grow and learn from all of those things in a very like booming, like prosperous career. But I think when you are like British Asian, right, and you are one of the only, well, there are a lot of people, I don't want to say one of the only few, because that's not that true now. Like, your job is to represent, like your job is to kind of be a person that kind of is out there and not making people, I don't know, laugh at you or make you look like some clown, or like, you are representing people at the end of the day, whether you like it or whether you don't. And I think a huge responsibility can come with that, but I'm trying to not feel too pressured with that at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, typical program I used to watch back in there was Goodness Gracious Me, and they used to do a lot of portrayals of, the young child who was kind of, trying to steer away from the typical stereotypical views of Asians. Now, and you mentioned how the young generation of Asians are now using social media and trying to rise up and trying to, you know, do something which is, again, not the norm for a typical Asian. Do you have people that reach out to you and say, "Oh, do you know what? I love what you're doing. This is inspiring me to do something which is what my kind of parents want me to do, or what I'm supposed to be doing." Do you have people that reach out to you and kind of cherish, the kind of stuff that you're doing? Because obviously it's
Yeah.
a different direction to a typical British Asian.
Yeah, man, all the time, man. The other day, somebody DM'd me on Instagram, and it was a young uni student. I think it was a young Indian guy, talking about, for his dissertation, he's writing about representation within TV and film. He
Mm-hmm.
just messaged me out the blue. I saw the message and was like, "Oh, I'm writing a dissertation. Do you have any? Do you have time for like a 5-minute interview that I can just ask you your opinion on certain things to help with my disso?" And bro, straight away I went, oh, that was you. Like at
Mm-hmm.
19, 20, you were studying broadcast journalism, reaching out to all of these people trying to get interviews. So don't you dare ever like say no, or don't you dare ever ignore it, because that was you once upon
Wow.
a time. So I hit him back and I was like, yeah, bro, let's do it ASAP. And he's asking really smart questions and just literally telling me all the stuff that he wanted to ask, and I gave him all the answers from my perspective. And yeah, so stuff like that I think helps. People, like I do university lectures. I do like with University of East London. I've been doing
Mm-hmm.
like lectures with them for like the last 2-3 years, just talking about what it means to work in the media and what it means to be like an Asian person working in it, and what opportunities you can create for yourself, stuff like that. There's always this part of me where I'm like, if I'm being blessed enough with all these opportunities, got to give them back, 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 so that other people can learn certain things from it and hopefully like be inspired or take some nuggets.
I think that's incredible because you mentioned how, and a lot of people do forget, and I'm not going to, I'm not trying to be negative here, but a lot of people who've got to a certain position kind of forget the kind of people who, who are trying to reach out to them, who have been in the situation that they themselves were in once
Mm,
before. And I think it's really refreshing to see that you still are able to connect with people such as myself,
yeah.
to gain more insight and experience from yourself, because as we all said, we're all trying to get to that one goal, and we all need to
Mm.
help one another, irrespective of the kind of the statures that we all have.
My thinking with it is like, if everyone's got their journey, everyone's got their mission, everyone's got their blueprint in regards to how they want to get from point A to B, yeah? And
Mm,
everyone's going towards their destinations. But I'm like, if on the way there, everyone can stop off and just be like, yo, do you need, or can I,
yeah,
like,
right.
you could help me, I could help you. If I'm not trying to, there's no ego in place, like it's just out of love. If we can do that, that will be so much better and so sick for everyone to still get to where
100%.
they're getting to.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Again, wishful thinking, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it
a
don't happen
start.
all the time. It don't
Yeah,
happen all
yeah,
the time.
exactly. Another key point for you is you are a person deriving from the arts. Now, given the current situation that we've all been with lockdown and the current constraints we've been going through, I've seen recently that this was difficult for you because current guidelines from the government were, well, if you are in the arts kind of industry, you need to look for something else to do to try and keep yourself busy and more importantly earn your pay packet.
Mm.
How was that for you? That must have been quite challenging.
Yeah, in the first when the first lockdown got announced, I remember, bro, it was like, what is this? What is going on? What does this mean? What? No filming,
Mm,
no productions, no things happening. Literally, it was the first time in my mind where I felt limited and blocked, that I couldn't go and do certain things. So I just done what I know best and just kind of zoned out and just focused on my own stuff and finished writing my feature film screenplay. Tried to get on with doing all of that stuff, and then slowly but surely stuff started coming in and stuff started opening up and
right.
opportunities started presenting themselves. And then I was like, all right, cool, maybe now I can say this, looking back now, there's things in place with stuff that people now know how to operate, and people now know how to move forward and work professionally within COVID measures and within the whole new guidelines that have been introduced. If you
Mm-hmm.
do want to go on a film set, or you do want to film something, or you are in a production, it can be done, because I have done it for the last like 5 to 6 weeks. And people are now, and it's interesting to learn that, because it's a new thing that's happening in society. So for me to even observe and see, okay, cool. So there's now wardens in place. There's now 5 COVID tests happening every week.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
doing all of this to make sure that everybody is as safe as sound, first and foremost, and then we're able to get into work and do whatever it is that we can to the best
Still
of our
do what
abilities.
you do and still maintain that passion and not kind of lose focus and lose sight of your livelihood
Yeah,
effectively.
but I do remember it. But early on, it was quite hard, man. I was even messaging my friends. I was like, bro, what's
Yeah.
going on? And I think everyone who works in the arts, especially musicians, man, I feel for them the most, because I'm like, if you're a musical artist and your whole purpose is to like deliver music and perform that music in front of crowds, and that is that's your dying thing. Like you would do that till the day that you die, and that's been stopped, man. That's so hard because it's in you as an artist. You need
Yeah.
to kind of get out and do that. So I think they had it worse, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that once we're able to get back and watch live performances, they're going to be absolutely amazing.
Fingers crossed. I mean, yeah, like for me, being a DJ, that really hindered my kind of like, my events, and I do weddings as well, and it just kind of just messed me up completely. But I'm hoping that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that we can try and go back to a bit of normality. Something that you mentioned uh, previously was how you are, connecting with the youth, connecting with kind of people from a young age, and more importantly, from a careers perspective, people trying to get into the arts. And I understand that you were affiliated with Discover Creative Careers Week quite recently. I think this week, in actual fact. Just tell me a little bit more about that, bro, and what you did in terms of connecting with the
Yeah. So Discover Creative Careers Week is a initiative launched by a charity. It's called Screen Skills, and Screen Skills are basically in place to help young people get access to jobs that they never knew existed in the first place within the screen industries. So what that means is that if you wanted to work not necessarily in front of camera, but necessarily as a audio engineer, as a gaffer, as a lighting in the lighting department, as a director of photography, as an assistant producer, as a director as such behind the camera, they offer training, internships, and ways for you to kind of figure out how to go about that. They contacted me and was like, we'd love you to be an ambassador for the charity to kind of help young people with, by just sharing your story. And I was like, yeah, 110%. We recorded a video about, I think, a couple of months back towards the end of last year. And then it got played in like schools and assemblies for people to like watch and share someone's story. And basically just, I guess, by sharing your story, that's all we can do is hopefully somebody takes something from there.
Absolutely.
And it might be able to help them. It might not, but that's kind of what we done. But yeah, this weekend was Discover the Creative Careers Week, and it was wicked.
Fantastic. Another very important date that's coming up is the holy month of Ramadan. Now, obviously, that was difficult for you. No, not say difficult. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. But last year, obviously, you had to deal with that for the first time during lockdown.
It was hard, bro. You're right. It was so hard.
Sorry, some people can say, it's light work, 30 days.
No. It was...
some people can carry, I can do another 30, I'll do another 60. But obviously, you created awareness in regards to Ramadan last year with a lovely collective of people derived from numerous backgrounds, but all had one thing in common, which was representing Islam. Obviously, now we're in lockdown too. We've got another 30 days of the holy month. What does the 30 days mean for you?
Yeah, man. Ramadan is like, it's interesting because I've done an interview with Facebook about this yesterday or the day before, and it was about Ramadan. And I remember saying, like, I don't it coming up because I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be so hard, yeah. But then what gets me through it is like, bro, that detox and that resetting ability is like so beneficial for human beings, full stop, bruv. Like, and I recommend it to everyone. Like, groups of my friends who are not Muslim, some are Sikh, some are other religions. Like, they're like, oh, I could never do that. Like, bro, that's too much. And I'm like,
right,
bro, you should try one day, like, and just see what it does for you. It's like, it builds resilience. It's like mental clarity. It's detoxing your body from stuff that you've been putting in it for so long and so much time, and you get to reset and chill out. Hopefully I'm not working during it, but yeah, that month I do look forward to it because it's like another test again. And I'm like, all right, cool. Can I do it? Can I not do it? Because last year, bro, I genuinely put my hands up. I think it was the hardest. Yeah, it was the hardest one that I experienced.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that's expected because obviously, you've got lockdown as well. So
yeah.
I mean,
Usually I keep like the majority of my fast, and I like to turn around at the end and be like, yeah, I kept them all. But like last year was one of them where I just remember being like, bro, what has happened to me, bro?
right.
Am I getting old? Like, what's happening, bro? Like,
yeah, 100%.
I used to have this thing on lock, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even 30 yet, and I'm feeling like I'm 50.
Yeah, and I was just like, bruv, this is hard, man. It's mad difficult. But this year I've already seen like sunrise is at like 7 a.m. and sunset is at like
Okay.
8:13 or around 8 o'clock mark.
Okay.
So it's about 13-hour fast. So we've had longer ones than that, bro. We've had
Yeah.
like 17, 18, 19 hours sometimes. So I'm looking at that being like, it's not gonna be too bad,
It'll be
bro.
light work for you this time
12
around.
hours,
Yeah.
13 hours is
It's not that
cool.
deep. Yeah, it's not that deep.
Hopefully, ask me at the end though, bro. I'll turn around and
I
say to you,
will, bro.
I was
Yeah,
struggling. It was
yeah,
hard.
yeah. But I mean, obviously, last year it kind of was just pouncing us from the government, like right lockdown, right Ramadan, and it was just like whoa, 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 whoa. This time around, you've got some time to mentally prepare, and as you said, you've kind of analyzed the kind of the sunrise and sunset thing. Okay, do you know what? I can do this. So I'm looking forward to seeing your journey for these for the 30 days coming up. I want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to know more about you. And like I said, you've done interviews as long as I can't keep up. I can't keep up. One thing I am going to say to you is I'm proud of you. I'm
Bro,
proud of you because the position you're in now is a position that I want to be in and a lot of other people want to be in terms of reaching your goals. You've always wanted to be, within the filming industry. You've always wanted to be radio. You've done all of that and you've accomplished a lot of things, I would say, in a short space of time. Maybe 7 to 8 years is long for some people, but in retrospect, it's quite a short, given your age as well, you've accomplished quite a lot.
Thank you, brother.
No, honestly, it's a testament to you because, like I said, man, when I'm sifting through all your stuff and when I'm on page 5 of Google and I'm still going, yeah, that says it all. And then there's new stuff just popping up. I'm just thinking, I mean, bro, do you sit back and just think, raw, like, is this real? Like, what is going on? Because
Yeah.
you've accomplished a lot. Do you just take a moment and just think, like, whoa, what have I done?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Sometimes I do, but only if I'm in like a certain moment or I'm doing something that makes me kind of look back. Because I think what I've been blessed with is like kind of like visionary, looking into the future and kind of patterning up what you need to do in order to get from point A to B. I've been quite good at that over the last like 6 or 7 years, and I haven't been that good at kind of looking back, and I'm trying to make more time for it and whatnot. But it's mad, bro, because it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. You kind of like you get addicted to this feeling of accomplishment and achievement, because once you set your mind onto something and you get it instills something in you where you're like, all right, cool, I can go and do whatever it is that I set my mind to. And the goals kind of end up getting bigger. So like my goals now are so unattainable, like they're so like over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but I'm
But
slowly
it's,
working.
but it's achievable.
It's achievable for sure, because you've gone through and you've realized
Absolutely.
that you've been able to go from point A to point B. So as long as, and I remember back in the day, I used to watch so many interviews, so many clips from people who achieve their goals. And the best thing is just, bro, like every day, just take every day as it comes and just pave a brick every day, even if that's a long-term project or if it's something
Absolutely.
tired, just one brick every day, bro, one brick every day. Can you look back at your day and go, cool, you know what? Yeah, today I put down a brick or I gave back or I done something that's going to help in the future, as well as being able to help other people. And if you can answer that question with a yes, then you're good. You're on the right path.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I mentioned Leeds University before. It's a vast contrast between Leeds University and then, Radio 1 Extra and the BBC as a whole. And again, in that short space of time, that's a journey to be proud of. You also mentioned how, you need to start, paving the way, and it may not be over a day, it may not be over a week or over a year, or it's a long-term plan. But what's really important is the perception of people like yourself, people who are in a similar kind of who have a similar status, where from the outset things look fantastic. Things are things are going really, really well for you. And for the people who are trying to obtain those goals and pave that journey, a lot of the younger generation say look to social media. Now, social media is a double-edged sword. I believe that, yeah, obviously for the obvious reasons, it shows people's progression. It shows people's work rate, shows people's highs, but also shows their lows.
Mm,
Unfortunately, I don't know if you agree, but social media can be obviously poisonous at the same time.
mm,
Poisonous to the point where it gives the younger generation the feeling that, oh, I can't achieve that, and so I can't reach them goals. Or they look at someone else and they think, wow, they're doing this and they're doing that, what about me? And unfortunately for some, it kind of puts them in that kind of position where, they go into a darker, deeper place.
and I think the reason for that is this awful thing that we do as human beings is comparative analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So what that is we compare our journeys and our successes with other people who are miles ahead in their career paths and their journeys, and it's a very toxic thing to kind of do. And I've been somebody who's done it, and it's not healthy as a human being to go through that psychological like process at all. And what I would just recommend is just zone out and don't like be consumed by social media so much. Like, you run your social media, you own it. Don't let kind of other people's information or other people's successes kind of wear you down at all,
Mm-hmm.
man. Just realize everything is so individual for yourself, and whatever you're doing is destined for you. Whatever someone else is doing is destined for them. There's no comparative. You're two different people. There's things that you can do that person B can't do. There's things that person B can do that you can't do. Strengths and weaknesses, literally.
What I love about you is that, yes, you're very prominent on on social media platforms, but evidently you're not that kind of person. But right, I need to post about this. I need to post about this. I need to post about
Yeah.
this. I need to post about. You do your work does the talking, and
Yeah,
that.
see, you say I'm prominent, but I got people telling me all the time, you need to use it more, or bruv, you need to do this, or bro, your following is low for what you do. And I'm like, so
Sorry,
what, man?
what? Yeah, what I mean. What? Well, I should have rephrased it. Not prominent. I mean, believe that you're on social media platforms, Instagram and
Yeah.
stuff, but you're not. You. I don't think you're deliberately as active as others. I think you, as I
No,
said, you're letting your work do the talking. I
100%.
from what I can see, you're not that kind of person who feels they have to update every single bit of their progression on their timeline for others. Is that the case, and why is that the case?
I just think, man, social media has changed to what it was back in the day to what it is now, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like activism media. It is a place where people are just running off opinions left, right, and center. And like, if people want to share that, that's amazing, and that's cool for them. If it makes them feel good, amazing, it's cool. Some things you need to speak up on, and some things you need to be really passionate about. But it's too much, bro. There's too much opinion. There's too much. When you're a person like me, I deep everything like a lot. Like, so I'm reading every word. I'm taking in someone's energy. I'm
Mm.
understanding the person who is writing this. And if I'm doing that to every single post, that's too much information going in your brain. You need to just zone out and focus on you. But there's great things about it. Don't get me wrong, when people do that and whatnot. I've just been the stage that I'm at right now and what I'm doing with it. I don't like using it OTT all the time,
Yeah.
in your phone all the time. I duck out, I come in, I duck out, I come in. Sometimes I'll be using it a lot. Sometimes I'll be like, no, I'm not on it. And I prefer that relationship, man.
It's actually refreshing, to be honest, because like I said, because when I looked at your social media, I was like, oh, okay, it's not what I usually would expect from someone of your kind of position, where it's literally every single thing is broadcasted to the nation. But I like that you've kept it very humble, and you've kind of been able to kind of just zone out and put that kind of world aside, because in reality that is not the real world, and you're focusing on your craft, and it's evident. Like when I see you on TV, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what the brother's doing. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is more rewarding for probably for you and for others. As I said, I want to get into the nitty gritty. Miss Baptiste was obviously a big part of your life.
This,
From
oh, this guy, bro. You're a bad man still.
Because for me, I had my kind of direction with music is my piano teacher, and I'll never forget him. But obviously, Miss Baptiste was your media studies teacher. Was that the person who kind of thought, who gave? Because I know that this is she was, or was like, yeah, this, you can do this, brother. You can actually do this. Like, this is something that you're destined for. And Was that the person, or did you have someone before along your journey was like, you know what, yeah, I could, push, you can do this, you can do this.
Yeah, Miss Baptist was my English teacher, my media studies teacher, and my history teacher at GCSEs. And she was like, she basically just showed me that I could go and do and work like kind of in the media industry, because it was the first time in a school that I went to. I went to a state school. I went to Rutledge High School in Southwest London in Merton. It wasn't like one of the best schools. There was a lot of like bad activity happening around there. A lot of bad people used to go there or whatever. Although John Major went there as well. So that was, they used to like say that as like,
Yeah, I bet they did.
the school's so great, John Major went here, and like, he's a washed out politician anyway. I'm going off track. What I'm trying to say is media studies got introduced in year 10 when we got into year 10, and she wanted to teach it as a subject, and I was like, bro, media, I love that word. Like, I love media like as a subject. That would be
But
so
why?
good.
But why did you love it?
Because, bro, like I grew up as an only child. So because I didn't have brothers and sisters in my household growing up playing and stuff all the time and interacting with them, I watched music videos, I watched films with I read a lot of stuff in magazines. I used to like, and media was like my way of kind of entertaining
And also to keep you
myself.
busy and keep you occupied.
Exactly. Yeah, because you have an overactive imagination when you're an only child, and you don't have brothers and sisters as such, so you're keeping yourself occupied, right? So I was doing that, and then media studies got introduced. I was like, yeah, boom, I want to do this. Done the subject, and we got asked to make a magazine. I remember coming back to my house and getting like all the Photoshop, all the different audio, like photo editing software.
Yeah.
And I remember creating a magazine called like Street Source Magazine, and it was inspired off the Source magazine, but I called it Street Source, and I thought I was sick for changing it up and like making it green,
Yeah.
creating a profile of like a musician, and it's mad, yeah, bro. In that class, yeah, this is mad what I'm about to say. In that class, she had an acronym on the lesson on the wall, and it was called RAIL. Yeah, this is year 10 GCSE. This is very long time ago, and I still remember that acronym because it spoke to me. Yeah, the acronym was RAIL, and the R standard for representation. The A standard for audience, the I standard for institution, and the L standard for language. And all of those
Wow.
words to me in year 10 was like, bro, what do all of these words mean? Like, and I was like, representation. And look now how big of a thing representation is for me in my career and what I do on a day-to-day basis. Audience, how much of a huge thing that is. Institutions from different media standpoints and different organizations. Language is like the thing that connects all of us. So I deep it, and I'm just like, raw. Rail is like, it's mad. Like, as an acronym when I was really young to like where I am now, it's mad. Like, I can't even explain like the full circle moment with it, but it's crazy.
Do you still use that in this current day? Do you still kind of relay back to that and say, well, like, Rail, I need to like, enable you to like to refocus and trying to just visualize and trying to work out where you're going and trying to do a direction?
Yeah, I think it's become a subconscious thing, bro. Like, having doing what I do for so long, it's just subconsciously it's there. Okay, cool. What are we representing? Who's the audience? What institution is it going for? And how is the language that we're going to conduct it all? It just happens naturally because it was something that was ingrained in me in my childhood, and I'm aware of it and I remember it.
Another thing that this is one of my proudest moments of you, and I'll explain my whole rationale behind it. And again, many people who have spoken to you have spoken about this, and I believe it's not spoken enough, and it's a spoken word kind of artistry. Like that for me is mind blowing. I mean, how were you able to grasp the whole spoken word? I know you've explained what it is. I know you've explained of how you articulate yourself within spoken word, but why is that important to you? And how did you grasp that in the first instance?
It's important to me because at the time when I was doing it, it was actually like a survival mechanism for me to express as a man how I felt emotionally. And I think it's something that a lot of men don't do. And I think it's something that's really needed as men. We bottle up a lot of stuff. We don't speak about it. We act like everything's fine. We act like everything's cool. But spoken word poetry for me allowed me to like express the relationship that I had with my mother, and express the things that I didn't like about it, express the fact that I had no father in my life growing up when I was young, and there was no male role model there. express the fact about being like creative and standing out and sticking out rather than fitting in the social environments that I have. Talking about like mental health triggers and what things can like help you or not help you, coming out about mental health. Like for me, it was needed and necessary for me to express certain things that I didn't have the ability to express. And I just thought, let me just give it a go and just try it, bro. And it's become like a vehicle in my life that really just helps me, man. Like mentally, emotionally, and creatively, it fulfills me so much more out of all the stuff that I kind of do. I do like that. And I'm working on a project at the moment where hopefully I get to display more of that creativity and share it with the world.
I find it so inspiring because some of the wordplay on that, I'm just absolutely, it's just mind blowing. But there's elements of like, bro, you got bars. You've got,
You know what? After this year, I'm gonna send you something, and I wanna get your opinion on it. Obviously, you're
I'd
deep.
love to.
You're a sound man. You know what things are. I've recorded something that I've been playing to a few people that I've just like.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I'd say I'll send it to you to get some feedback and whatever. But yeah, man, I don't know about bars. I'm not a rapper, bro, but it's
I don't know. I don't know. I've been, you obviously, you know yourself better than anyone, but after I've been up on hours upon end, I've been listening to your stuff, and I'm like, yo, this guy has got. Really, you've got the voice. I think you've got the kind of trajectory, the kind of projection to kind of be a lyricist. You are a lyricist in its own right in regards to spoken words and poetry, but from a musical perspective, bro, is that another branch I could be saying? Is that something you'd probably take into consideration?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 110%. I'm working on something at the moment.
So is this what you're going to be sending me later on? Or?
Yeah. Well, I'll send you something to listen to, just to your opinion
Okay.
on. It's one of the things that I'm working on, but yeah, I've got like plans for like a little audio project that I'm currently putting together at the moment. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's giving me life. Like in this lockdown and stuff, it's like it's proper sick. It's wicked, and yeah, I don't know. It could be another avenue. I'm not looking at it like that. I go with what feels good, what I want to create, how I want to make something, and just go forward with that and put it out. And whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely. You mentioned, another branch, if I may, but you do a lot. Like, and I mentioned this at the beginning, like you're a one-man band, but effectively you do everything by yourself. Again, that's a very proud moment for me to see that. But how do you cope? How do you cope? Like I said, from the outset, it's all smiles. It's all, yeah, I'm good. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But really, like, how are you able to manage acting, radio, TV? I can go on, and I know I can. But
yeah, no, I'll explain it. Because I think from the perception versus reality is a very interesting thing, right?
Absolutely.
So from a perception point of view, one would look at someone like me and be like, oh my God, he does so many things. How does he do it? But then from a reality perspective, is like you will film certain things like a year, 2 years before it actually ends up coming out. So you've had a lot of time to go and do that. I'm not broadcasting on the radio anymore. So that pressure and that commitment is not there as much. But like writing now and acting is now like picking up a bit more than it used to. So it's like say for example, Informer, the series on Netflix, which is out right now, which which we filmed in 2018.
18, yeah.
2 years ago, and it came out on the BBC in like 2019, and only now has the distribution deal landed and they've got it on Netflix, which is amazing. A whole new audience, right? But that project was 2 years ago, and I'm now feeling the love from it, where I was like, oh damn, it's come out again, all right, wicked. But in regards to like other stuff, like I just shot a film. We just shot this feature film, which I know the same thing's gonna happen next year, Easter time, when it comes out. Everyone's gonna be like, especially every British Asian should be getting behind that and being like, oh my God, yeah, this is because we don't have films like that being made, bro.
We don't.
At all. We don't. It's not in the public vicinity as much.
Let me ask you, why? Why is that?
Because there's not enough people who are in positions of power to commission, green light, and say, yeah, we need to make that. That's why. And there needs to be more. there actually needs to be more. Once that changes, then things will start changing.
I know it's easy for me to say, well, what would be your suggestion? But it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy to say, oh, we need some more Asian people to start, speaking up and raising awareness. Which what you've said many times. How much awareness can you raise? I mean, and what do you,
It's not
is it?
even it's not even like having more Asian people. It's having people who get it. It's just having
Uh-huh.
people who understand cultural importance and like what culture being reflected in screen and
Mm,
art means to people when they're watching it. Like it means so much. And it once we get people who actually get it and
mhm.
understand it, then it will be in a place where it's like, okay, cool, that person gets it. I've worked with people, bro, who are not Asian, who are not from Pakistan, not India. They are English people. They're from wherever, but they still get it. They still understand the cultural sensitivity and the understanding of why we need to get someone like that here on this radio station, or why we need to get someone like that in this film, or why we need to get that person's work commissioned because of what it means to other people who look and sound and have come from that person's perspective, right? There are people like that. If we get more people like that, even better, but we're just gonna have to keep pushing and fighting the fight.
Some would say that trying to get more ethnicity within the divisions of whatever media streams would be literally as a quota, just to say that, well, we're just
Yeah.
doing it just to tick a box. And some would say what you would say is that, some people get it. Some people really do understand that there needs to be more racial inclusion because it helps us to understand one another, embrace one another, and obviously give everyone equal opportunities, as you said. Informer for me was fantastic. Do you feel, and I will touch on Informer very shortly, but did you feel that Informer was a catalyst for others to be given the opportunity and kind of get it in terms of saying, oh, well, look at this. This cast is majority, from an ethnic background, but it popped. It popped. I mean, that it was, on Netflix, it came up straight away. I was thinking, yo, what's this? I was thinking, what? I know these brothers, but like, what is this? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel
Yeah.
that it kind of had a really positive impact? Not again from your perspective, like in terms of like, oh, the limelight's on me, but from an overall perspective, the bigger picture between racial inclusion.
Yeah, I think it was an opportunity for people because the writers of the show are actually not from the UK. They're American.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Rory and Surab. And for them getting something made like that and getting it commissioned and getting it primetime BBC drama and then onto Netflix through the production company, I think is a great thing. And I think
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it can show that when people do invest big money into stories like that, it does do well, and there is an audience for that as well at the same time, because like we'll see Top Boy and we love Top Boy and Top Boy is a
Yeah.
great show for everyone to get behind, but I hate it when people turn around and say, where's the South Asian version of X, Y, and Z? Because
Mm.
there shouldn't be one. That should exist in its own entity, and whatever you're making should exist in its own entity, right? But there needs to be more of that other entity as well for people to be able to flex and show where their cultural like standpoint is. Where is the script where there's Urdu in the script, or where there's stuff from any different background that is just in there that you can see reflected and be like, raw, cool. Like, yeah, we're being seen on screen and it's being done in a good way. It's not an honor killing. It's not a terrorist attack. It's not a cab driver. It's not stereotypical. Like, it's
Hmm.
just open to a humanity perspective.
I would say the same is it in football, as there's not a
Yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot of British Asians in football, and again, the stigma is that they're probably just down the curry house or whatever. Like, they don't need to be in football because that's it's unheard of, and I think that's the kind of issues we're facing, similar issues we're facing with that as well. Informer, that was an amazing experience for you, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it too much because, again, everyone knows the situation. But is there going to be an Informer too?
Bro, I hope so, bro. If I knew, I would probably say it and spill the beans. It's probably the reason why they haven't said anything, or I don't know. I literally, hand on my heart, if I could say there is one, I'd say it, but I've got no idea. I'd love there to be one because I think it's needed very much so in the climate right now for people to watch. But genuinely, hand on my heart, I ain't got a clue, bro.
I hear that. I hear that. Cool. I'm just trying to shoot my shot, bro. You know the ones
I get
there.
that exclusive.
Come on, bro. Come on. Look, as I said to you, I'm not gonna say, oh, you've done this, you've done that. I mean, one thing that is very important to me is obviously meeting with your father, and I'm not going to go into much detail in regards to that because it's evident of what you've gone through. A fantastic journey. What I would like to ask, following up from that pivotal moment in your life, and for those who don't know, and I will put the link in the bio in regards to the short clip which is on YouTube, pertaining to how you met your father for the first time in Pakistan, quite recently. How has that been afterwards? I think that's the most important point. What has it been for you? How has it been after the initial meeting with your father?
Yeah, it went through stages. So like as soon as it came out and people in his village and stuff like saw it and watching it and streaming it like online, and that he became this like celebrity in the area that he's from. And like everyone came over to him and is like, oh my God, his son came over here. What a mad story. Because it's like a Bollywood film, bro. It's
Trust
like
me.
it's literally like a scene from a movie where it's like, what the hell? This
Yeah,
what? It's
man.
mad. So for him, it was like he got like he got more respect from people in his area. They now view him as like, oh my God, your son from London is like,
Yeah, TV and all this stuff like
yeah.
that.
They came
Yeah.
over with a camera crew, so he was living that up. He was enjoying that, and then we didn't speak for a while. Just got busy in life, and then we like got a couple like we'd check in here and there. He'd ring me more so than I ring him, like,
Okay.
which is quite interesting for me to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
observe, because I'm like, okay, I thought you'd maybe make a more active decision doing that. But he yeah, he would check in from time to time and be like, what's going on? Ask for help with like certain things as well. Like, and I try to help as much as I can. Sometimes not help because I'm also like, bro, like, where were you for like 25 years still? Do you know what I mean? So that resentment's still there a little
Of
bit.
course, which is expected.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to work on that as well. I'm trying to get rid of that and see why that's there and that. But yeah, man, that's kind of where it's at the moment, bro. Like, it's just at least like I can get a call on my phone that says "Dad" ringing, like, and I know, and this is what I want to say about that. Yeah, is other people who have their mum and dad present in their life might have that on a regular basis and might have mum call in and be like, "Oh, fuck's sake, I don't want to answer it,"
Yes.
or,
Oh,
or or dad call in and be like, "Oh, bro, what does this guy want now?" Yeah, all of everyone who has a mum and dad feels that, and I know that because I've seen my brethren do it. When you've grown up and you haven't had that, yeah, and you haven't, bro, you haven't seen mum or dad ringing on your phone, yeah. When you get it, yeah, and you see it, you're like, bro, that's mad because you've never had it. So all I'm trying to say from this and why I wanted to do that doc and why I wanted to make it so much is like appreciate your parents, bro, like as much as you can, bro, because when they die, you'll understand. Like you literally will understand once they're gone. Like I lost my grandmother at 25, and I'm not trying to get deep or trying to get anything like. But once I lost my parents, like my mum and my dad are still in my life. Don't get me wrong, but it's different, innit? You'll realize it then. So just realize every day that if your mum's ringing you on your phone, like be as nice as you can to her. If your dad's ringing you on your phone, like be as nice as you can to him, because those little small things there, bro, they're blessings, man.
man, you've hit the nail on the head, man. That's one thing that resonates me quite significantly, man. And I'm not ashamed to cry about it, bro, because
I
it's
respect
important
it.
to us. Ah, man, it's important. This is the thing, and I feel what you've said is so important that people take things for granted. It's just that, especially with what we're going through right now. What you said is, and I've done it. I picked up the phone. I thought, what's my dad calling me for, man? That
Bro, I
was
do it now. I do it like, and I'm guilty of it as well. But I'm just trying to say, like, bro, just appreciate it as much as you can, fam. Because there's even to this day people who are worse off who don't have that, bro. There's orphan children out there, like, who've never grown up with a mum and dad in their life. So if you have that blessing in your life, bro, it's amazing. It's literally genuinely amazing.
I just want to say that, and I cried when I read and when I watched your story because again, and I mentioned it before, to where you are now. Granted, you had the fantastic support of your grandmother, God rest her soul. Um, but I mean, yeah, you had her as guidance and support and laid the foundations, but you effectively did this, off your own back as well. Grant, as I said, your grandma did give you everything she could, to try and make you feel included within society.
Mm.
But at the same time, you did this off your own back without the kind of guidance from what most people take for granted is parenting, you know, from the typical mother and father figure. And when I see what you've done, bro, it hurts me, because one of my biggest fears is when my mother and father pass away. I think about that constantly and I take it
Yeah.
for granted. And then when I watch your kind of journey, I'm thinking, bro, like, you know, you have your mother there, but obviously not in the same context as others would expect. But
Mm-mm.
you've been able to rise up, and it still is possible. It still
Yeah,
is
massively.
possible, regardless of the obstacles you face. Would
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, massively, man. I think I've always been the type of person that's like, no matter what it is that you've been born with or the cards that you've been dealt, like it's up to you to decide like how you operate life, how you view life, and kind of what you want to make out of it. And if you can go and do some amazing things in your life without from very humble beginnings and not being blessed with like a silver spoon. Like I had a silver spoon in some respects, like I was adored by people in my family. I was always around people, and I'm not trying to here to paint a sob story. Like there's people who have had it much harder than me, but I also do know there is also other people who have had it more privileged, where they've got successful mum, successful dad, middle class upbringing, been blessed with certain things a bit more. So I'm just appreciating all of it and just realizing that, bro, like no matter where it is you start, you can end up like somewhere beyond your imagination. Everything I'm doing now is beyond even the thing that I even thought of for myself, bro. Because I'm like, all I ever wanted to do was be a radio broadcaster. That's all I ever wanted to do. I was able to do that, like, and do that and then some. Like that's how I describe it, because there's way more that I've done than I've even ever thought. So now every day I wake up and anything gets up like presented to me, I'm like, cool. Yeah, like don't need to let's like, all right, let's
No
roll with it.
second
Let's go,
guess, just
yeah,
go
let's
with
just
it.
go for it, man, and shine some light in the world and show people like that you can do whatever it is that you set your mind to.
Absolutely. Just to finalize, you mentioned how you have now set some unattainable goals but are achievable. How do you visualize that? I mean, how do you record that? I mean, do you have something, do you have like a visual board, or I mean, how do you set, record your goal and say, I'm gonna go do that?
Yeah. I'm a very visual person. Like I visualize a lot of stuff like mentally in my head, so I can be quite creative. I think it's a creative quality that some people have or some people can work on or whatever. And like if I'm being honest, but I'll visualize stuff in my head, just like not daydreaming, but just like kind of being like, all right, cool. I want to try and make that happen, and I want to make this, and I want that to go there, and then I'll come up with like a plan to how to do it, and like write it on. Like I got two whiteboards in like the room that I sleep in.
Okay.
And it's got like different targets and different things that are different projects that I want to make and create, and I'll just like write certain things next to them. Or if I meet people along my journey, I can connect the people with maybe the project and have a conversation about trying to make it happen, and just linking up with people and having like good relationships with people from the area that I grow up in to new people that I meet on like a film set or whatever, and just like, bro, treating everyone the same. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very rare quality that I've realized not a lot of people do, like from the runner to the janitor to the security guard to the director to the, you know what I mean? A lot of people, once they get into a certain position, it's like, yeah, you know what it is, like I'm just moving with so and so now, or I'm with these lot, so I'm with these lot now. Do you
Right.
get it? So I'm
Yeah.
leaving that stuff behind. But it's like, what I'm realizing now is that I was the person that was not in a powerful position, so not even now in a powerful position, but slowly trying to get there, right? And somebody who respected me when I was really young, I'll have the same respect and admiration for if they ever hit me up, or if I could obviously hopefully hit them up as well. And those people are always going to go on to be in like good positions. So always be friends with like the people that make your coffee, or the security
Absolutely.
guard who opens the door, the driver who takes you to your job, the lunch lady who's making your food for you. Like just always be nice to everyone, man. It's so
Wise,
important, bro.
wise words, man. Because as I said at the beginning of this discussion, that just speaking to someone and giving them your attention can really change their mindset and their mood for the rest of the day, and really flourish positivity amongst us all and just make us all
Massively.
better people. Finally. And again, we can't talk about it much. We did speak this prior to the discussion, but you got something popping at the moment, bro. Something popping. And the reason why I find it exciting is because you got someone, Jemima Khan, or
Yeah.
well, is it Jemima Khan still? I need to.
What do you think it is?
I don't think it's Khan anymore because I don't believe that she's married to Imran anymore. Yeah, but I could be mistaken anyhow. But what have you got going on? I mean, obviously, I know you can't go into a lot of detail, but in a nutshell, what's popping?
Yeah, I got casted in a British Asian like romantic comedy that's been written by Jemima, just about like kind of arranged marriage, kind of like around that theme in it. I can't really talk about it too tough, bro. I'd love to. I can go off on a tangent right now
Mm-hmm.
on the maddest one, but I'm not gonna because I have to wait until it comes out. But all I will say is I think it's I think it's important, man. I think having that reflected on a big screen, I think is really needed, and hopefully we can get into a place where more of that stuff is being made, and
Absolutely.
more shows and TV and film and stuff can just be created that speaks to, say, British Asian people in this country, all over the world even. um and I just hope that it does that and people feel reflected, and everyone's going to have something to say anyway, man. When you create something, there's always going to be, oh, but it was this, oh, but it was that, oh, I didn't like it, oh, I did like it. But if you really deep the fact, bro, it's being made,
Mm-hmm.
like it's one step closer to hopefully more stuff being made. That's the end goal, where it's like we can make as many things as we can that
Um,
reflect our community and our people and what we've been through. So yeah, it was really good to be able to film that in lockdown. Kind of gave me like a little spring in my step to like keep going and know that there are kind of blessings out there for you to obtain, and like miracles can kind of happen.
and effectively enable more doors to be opened, and etc., etc. Just to end it off there, I just want to say, bro, you are a fantastic listener, and I've seen this in many interviews before, but your listening is not an a is a trait which, we all believe that we all can do it, and we all
Yeah.
listen. Oh yeah, I can listen. No. I've watched throughout this whole discussion. Your listening techniques is incredible,
Yeah. It's
and I feel
experience, bro. What you're doing, I've been doing for time. Do you know what I'm saying? And I haven't been, maybe not as, I could be better, but I've been doing for time. It just ends up becoming a subconscious thing.
it's incredible.
I listen to every word uttered, every
I
question.
know. I was watching you, and you are the first person. And I don't. This is going to be aired anyway, but I just want to say you are the first person who will literally just sit there and listen to every
Everything.
single word until I've stopped, and I feel that that is an exemplary trait and something that you can't just obtain overnight. And as I said,
Ah.
that's something that is a part of your creative kind of plateau, I would say. And I just think it's incredible, bro.
Yeah,
I
but
just
you
think
are as well, bro. It takes one to know one, in it. Like you've been listening to everything that I've been saying, being able to like hit up question after question. And I'm so glad I've done this, bro. Like literally, I was a bit not apprehensive, but because I'm not, I haven't been doing like as many things, or like there's no campaign going on, or there's no
mm-hmm.
project out that I can directly link to. This is just one of the ones that I just thought, you know what, yeah, man, why not? I saw the message, I was like, yeah, let me hit you up and just
Bro,
let's.
when I saw, I mean, I'm gonna edit this bit out, but bro, when I saw the message, I got gas. I went to my wife. I was like, "Yo, look! Like, I can't believe it." Because, like I said, about we just finished watching Informer, so I hit you up as soon as the last episode went. Well, I need to message my brother and just see
Yeah,
if I can speak to you just to learn about your journey. Because, like I said, bro, I love your journey. I love
yeah,
it
thank you, bro.
because you've done what I want to do. I'm considerably older than you, I must say, but I still feel it's achievable irrespective of my age, bro. So
110%, brother. 110%. Age is nothing, bro. You can still go on and do whatever it is that you set your mind to, bro.
mm. But
Literally.
like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna keep watching your journey because you inspire me, and from what I've seen online, you inspire a lot of people, bro. And
Mm.
it's refreshing to see that. Well, look, thank you for taking the time out to speak to me today out of your busy schedule. It's greatly appreciated. You've got a lot of knowledge and wisdom, brother, and I see more than bigger things for you for the time to come, and I'm excited for your journey. So thank you very much once again.
Nah, you're welcome, bro. Thank you. I really enjoyed this, and best of luck with everything as well.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.